I'd like to introduce our first speaker this morning. It's my pleasure to introduce the mayor of the city of Lawrence, Brad Finkelby.
Thank you, Hugh. It's an honor to represent Lawrence as the mayor at this event and to speak today on behalf of Vice Mayor Shipley, my fellow commissioners, and the entire city. The city has a long history of working closely with our excellent Douglas County legislative delegation on issues of mutual concern, and we look forward to continuing that this year. Thank you, all of you, for your dedicated service now more than ever on behalf of our community. To begin with, I would echo the words that I always remember now Representative Amick saying every time he presented at this event, which I've been to many times. I think he always said, our request is simple, please do no harm. And well, you can't say it better than that. Please do no harm. But beyond that overarching request, we understand as elected leaders, the greatest challenges that we face beyond pandemics usually deal with the balancing of resources related to constituents' wants and needs. In trying to reach that balance here in Lawrence, we have recently adopted a strategic plan which focuses on 5 broad outcomes. We have thus categorized our legislative priorities to align with these 5 outcomes. And those are unmistakable identity, strong and welcoming neighborhoods, safe and secure, prosperity and economic security, and infrastructure, asset management, and connectivity. Of course, our complete legislative priority statement is available, and I can't go through all of it, but obviously I know each one of you will and take a look at that. But I would like to just highlight a few priorities in the time I have remaining. And again, they'll be separated by the categories in our strategic plan. First, unmistakable identity. The 3 issues I'd like to highlight there. First is redistricting. The city of Lawrence supports Governor Kelly's call for the creation of a nonpartisan commission to assist with redrawing state legislative and congressional districts. The city does not support anything which would divide our county into more than one congressional district. Liquor Control Act. We support codifying the executive orders signed by the governor during the COVID-19 pandemic, which relaxed certain restrictions governing the sale and transportation of alcoholic beverages. These have been vital tools used by our businesses, especially many of our downtown businesses, and we hope that they are allowed to continue. They have been a success. Universities. The city will strive to collaborate and support both the University of Kansas and Haskell Indian Nations University on their legislative agendas. Of course, as it relates to the state, the city supports increased state funding for higher education in Kansas. The support for KU is the support for our city. We also support legislation that would allow members of federally recognized Native American nations or tribes to receive in-state resident tuition rates to attend our public secondary post-secondary institutions. And finally, Peaslee Tech. The city supports the legislation being pushed forward to enable the countywide election in November of 2021 to establish a special taxing district to provide permanent funding for Peaslee Tech. Our second outcome is strong and welcoming neighborhoods. And on that front, first I'd like to talk about criminal justice reform. The city supports the recommendations from the Governor's Commission on Racial Equity and Justice, and we also support reducing criminal penalties on non-person crimes. The Kansas Act Against Discrimination. We support legislation to codify the recent United States Supreme Court decision in Bostock versus Clayton County, which held that discrimination on the basis of homosexuality and transgender status is prohibited by Title VII. We also support amending the definition of race in the act to include traits historically associated with race, such as hair texture and protective hairstyles. Our third outcome is safe and secure. On that, I'd like to highlight first, local health orders. We support local control of our health orders. We believe our health department, our county, and our health officer have done a great job, and we'd like to allow them to continue to have the tools and resources they need to make the orders specific for the localities. We'd also like to have more ability to properly enforce those orders. Mental health funding. State funding for our community-based mental health services must be restored and expanded to address the growing needs for these vital services. These services are more vital than ever, as the impact of COVID has shown, and we must increase funding. Medicaid expansion. Our city and our community-owned hospital, LMH, fully support expansion of Medicaid. Prosperity and economic security is our fourth outcome. First, CAPERS. The city does not support any efforts to reduce CAPERS funding or to postpone payments to the CAPERS system. The state should make payments to reduce unfunded CAPERS liabilities. And alternative property valuation models. We do not support any methods of property tax assessment not based on accepted and statutory methods, and we hope the legislature looks closely at what's been going on at BODA on some of those topics. And finally, our fifth outcome is infrastructure, asset management, and connectivity. And we're going to focus here on transportation. It might be little surprise that the expansion of the west leg of the South Lawrence Trafficway is a high priority for us, and we would request funding in the 2022 budget to get that process moving. However, we also support the use of forward funds for alternative transportation projects, such as multimodal funding for things like the Lawrence Loop, safe routes to schools, and complete streets. And finally, the City of Lawrence encourages the state's involvement to help us increase the use of public transit between Lawrence and the neighboring cities to reduce congestion on the state highways. That's a short summary of some of our priorities. You can see the rest of them, but thank you so much for being here and all the work you'll do on behalf of Douglas County in the coming session.